So now, I have a few questions for you. My first question, what is the drummer's purpose in a band? Besides the most obvious thing, to keep time, yeah, that's great, wonderful. But a bass player can also do that too. So, what do you think a drummer's main purpose is? Anyone?
Supply the groove.
Okay. And that's really the drummer's purpose. The groove. Without groove, you have nothing. What are some of your favorite songs? Anybody? Just a random tune, pop music, whatever. Okay, so I see the audience participation is scarce. So,
I got one.
Okay.
Poker Face.
Okay. Great. And so, Poker Face. Luckily, I actually have a friend that is the groove keeper for that particular group. You know, my friend George Spanky McCurdy plays drums with Lady Gaga, and every time you hear her show, you dance. Every time, I promise you. One, not because he's doing a bunch of chop-related things, because at the end of the day, anybody that's really chopping really hard and doing all this other extra stuff, they're at home in their basements doing that. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to be a musician professionally, you want to work, correct or incorrect? So, in order for you to work, you have to do your job. You know, that you can't be in an office and you're playing Angry Birds on your phone. It doesn't work. So, and that's essentially what chops are, in a sense, in my opinion. You know, I mean, chops are good when you have to go through a 2-hour show and you're doing this all night. I mean, after an hour, unless you're extremely built, it's not going to be pretty for you. So, groove-wise, I'm just going to first talk about what is a groove. When you listen to a song, what is the groove? Like, what elements of the beat that you're hearing is the groove? So now, in pop music, in a sense, what would you call the groove? What aspect of the drum, what part of the drum set is really applying the groove?
The 2 and the 4.
Perfect. 2 and 4, and that's normally played where?
Snare drum.
And?
Bass drum.
Thank you. And so, that being said, there's a lot of guys who are great, and they do things like this. And that's impressive if you know, it's nice.
And everybody stop dancing.
Thank you. You can't dance to this. I've never, if you can dance to that, please show me right now. I would love to see this interpretive dance that you're going to do. It would be incredible. But, I mean, it's not possible. And last time I checked, music is entertainment. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get the audience to be in sync with you. I mean, and here's the other part. A lot of times when musicians are playing, but I'll specify, a lot of times when drummers are playing, and you know, there's a big guy, a big drummer that they look up to, it walks in the room. What happens? All that stuff happens all over again, and the guy's just looking in the back like, this kid will learn one day. Trust me, it happened to me. I remember I played the Newport Jazz Festival for the first time. I was 18, and Brian Blade, Gregory Hutchison, Chris Dave, and Otis Brown were all on the side watching. And Robert Glasper, the whole Robert Glasper experiment, I mean, a lot of the heavy hitters were just staring at me saying, okay, so what are you going to do, kid? And I'm walking on stage, and Branford's looking at me, well, what's wrong with you? Nothing. Because, I mean, you know, these are guys that you look up to, these are your idols. But at the end of the day, the person you're worried about is the artist, and the people that you're worried about, the audience. So, that being said, groove. I cannot stress this enough. Groove is your friend to everyone. Because Because trust me, I mean, it's great to be able to, excuse me, go to a clinic and turn on a track and do all of this really incredible stuff. But, I mean, that impresses the 90 to however many drummers that are in the room. Because after that, when you go into the gig, that's not going to happen or you'll lose your job. And the next guy that's sitting in the corner waiting, okay, thanks. Takes your job and gets that beautiful paycheck at the end of every week. So, yes, groove is so important. I mean, I really can't stress that enough. I mean, even in jazz, because there is a groove in jazz. As I said, most music is for dancing. So, as we all know, jazz, swing, whatever you want to call it, was a social music at one point. Not so much anymore, but, well, to a certain extent. But it was a social music, and people used to go there. That was the hip-hop of the time. So, a lot of jazz drummers get what I like to call, and excuse the phrase, diarrhea of the hands. And the reason I say that is because, you hear Elvin Jones, you hear Jeff Ting Watts, my predecessor, who, I mean, completely changed it all for all of us. And, they look at these guys, and then they start doing things like this, which it's impressive, but doesn't really do much. They'll start swinging, and they'll play this. And so, no one knows where one is. That's when things get all weird and fuzzy on stage, and then you lose your job. And one of the foundations that I truly believe that all drummers should check out, simple 2 and 4 groove in every stop. If you're able to do that and authentically do it, it will get you so far, in my opinion. Just a simple. Jazz. You'd be surprised how many woos and yes I get from Branford and the band when I do that. I mean, on the gig, I have I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty free gig for me. I can basically play what I want within the context of the group, and I'll get to that in a second as well. But I'll get into my space is what I call it, and I'll just be. The second I do, woo, yeah, man. It's like, well, why did I even play the others? I'm not looking for your approval, but it's like, and that's really what gets the bills paid. I mean, being a professional musician, as I said, you have to work. You have to take care of business, and taking care of business calls for you to use the foundation that you have, or that you should have. And there's a quote from I think it's from Jack Johnson, I believe. I forget exactly who. The highest form of sophistication is simplicity. If you really think about all of the extremely intelligent people in the world, they can instantly relay any message that they're trying to put out there in a few phrases, or maybe a paragraph. You have these great theologians who are writing theses, and then there's guys that come along and say, okay, yeah, well, this is what it is. If you look at great drummers like Roy Haynes, if you look at, and a lot of people really don't give him a lot of credit, and you can have your opinions about him. Ringo. I mean, simple grooves, because he didn't have that much to all of the Beatles records. Grooving. Absolutely grooving, and that's why they're the Beatles. If you listen to, let me think of a really good one. Oh gosh, James Brown. Any of the grooves. I mean, some of them are a little bit more intricate, but nonetheless, first of all, if you moved from the groove, James Brown would turn around and do this. That meant $5 off of your paycheck. Back then. And back then, $5 was, well, let me not say this, but because I clearly wasn't alive. But from what my parents my parents and friends have told me, yeah, man, $5 off of your paycheck was a lot because you weren't getting paid that much anyways. And so, that's essential. Groove. And I'm going to say this for the last time. Groove until you can't groove anymore. When in doubt, groove. Seriously, I mean, you go on a gig, and I don't know any of these songs, groove. I promise you, you'll get called back. Miss hits, great. If your reading isn't that great, shame on you. But just groove. And I guarantee, there have been so many gigs where I was lost. I mean, we're playing in 7, and all of these wild time signatures, I'm like, I don't know these songs. I don't know what's going on. I'm lost. I need a Tylenol. And just sitting in the... has gotten me a lot of paychecks. And a lot of... presents, yeah. and actually a lot of respect from the guys that I look up to. Because in the end, everyone says, oh, I don't care about what people think about me. Well, I mean, in order for you to get hired, they have to like you in some way, shape, or form. And so, it's about pleasing the artist. If the artist isn't pleased with what you're doing, you're no longer on the gig. And I know that, luckily I haven't been fired from any gigs. But I know a lot of people who have, and then I came and I actually started doing the gigs. Don't tell them though. But yeah, so groove. That's part 1. Part 2. Another important thing. When you get called for a gig, play the gig. Oh, man. There's nothing more annoying than hearing a drummer completely overplay. I mean, it's very impressive, I promise you. I mean, there's a lot of great guys out there that are just doing absolutely, utterly ridiculous. I mean, it's really ridiculous to explain. Like, I mean, a good friend of mine, Ronald Bruner, hands down one of the best drummers in the world. And I wouldn't say he overplays, but he has a lot of chops, and you find that out every show. And, and that's his particular playing style. He kind of comes from a Dennis Chambers, Billy Cobham school of playing, which is completely fine. But and his gigs that he's playing, Alan Holdsworth, Stanley Clarke, it calls for a lot of chops. That's what fills in the meat of the songs. Whereas if you're playing with let's see, if you're playing with
B.B. King.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. If you're playing with B.B. King and you start doing, so the groove is this. I like that. The second you start doing things of this nature, you're fired. And now I've been hollered at. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I've gotten ridiculed. I mean, with Branford, oh man, it's rough. First 2 years, kid, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm sorry. What is that? I'm sorry. It happens, and don't be afraid to be yourself and get a nice lashing from those guys, because I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to find out what the artist wants until they tell you. I mean, we can't get it through osmosis. It's not possible. And so, therefore, when you get on any type of gig, please playing a singer-songwriter gig, like a, let me think of any type of gig, but specifically singer-songwriter, because I've been doing a lot of those recently. You don't need 15 drums. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
Unless the particular songs that you're playing, call for you to have a 24-inch gong bass drum and a 32-inch gong behind you. Why? I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, in Boston, I went to Berklee College of Music for 2 years, and, you constantly see drummers, having these big Vic First stick bags. I mean, about maybe 100 sticks filled in there, carrying, their snare drums. I'm like, man, where are you going? Home? Okay, cool. Why do you have all those sticks? Okay, cool, great. Enjoy your day, man. And it's just like, doing unnecessary things. It's really not cool. And gig-wise, I'll go check out some friends' bands, and this dude will come on stage. He'll come on stage, and I walk in, and it's just like, whoa, what are they playing? And I'm thinking it's like a death metal group. Dude has 2 bass drums, about 15 cymbals, 7 toms, and the first song started off, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And every song started off. And I'm just looking on stage like, wow, you have a lot of stuff to break down tonight, man. Don't think I'm helping you at all, please. Listen, all 7 of those drums, you got it, bro. And again, it's all about, I have a system that I go through with every gig that I'm playing. First part, analyzation. I sit down, I dissect every aspect of the gig, from what I have to wear, what type of people I'm playing with, what crowd of people I'm playing with. I assess all of that stuff before I even get to the music. What drums I will need, what sticks, mallets, and or brushes, root, hot rods, whatever I'll need, shakers, whatever. Because, at the end of the day, there's one thing that you should always remember. On any gigs that you don't give your all to, you can be replaced, and will be replaced if you don't deliver the way that they expect you to. And so you need to be as prepared as possible. I mean, because I'm somewhat blessed with a gift where I can basically listen to a show like maybe an hour before we get on stage, and because of a system that I've developed with Branford, well, that he developed and kind of showed me, I learned the melodies of the songs, and 9 times out of 10, any good song is based on the melody. So any of the hits, any transitions, whatever, it's the hits are derived from the melody. So I learned the melody hour before the show. 9 times out of 10, I'm playing a jazz gig or R&B gig. The R&B gigs, the songs are like 3 parts. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus. It's very simple. Jazz-wise, it gets a little bit crazier, but nonetheless, I still learn the melody and it's fine. Doesn't work all the time. You get on the gig, okay, yeah, man. So we're gonna play this song. You remember the song? Yeah, no problem, man. The song is in like 15/8. You're looking at the page. Oh wait, I don't remember this. Yeah, man. Can we not play this? 1, 2. It's like, oh snap. Okay. So, yeah, that's part 1. Analyze everything that you need, from drums, sizes, and that's really important too. A lot of guys say, well, you can play everything on all sizes of drums. Great, you can do that. But me in particular, I don't really want to play a rock gig on an 18-inch bass drum. It's not going to sound too good. I mean, you can fill it up and do whatever you like to do, but I like to be well prepared. So, that's part 1. Analyze the gig itself. Second, check out the artist's entire discography. Whoever you're playing with, whether you're playing, like, if you're playing some gigs with some local guys, ask them, yo man, do you have any recordings of the shows? Do you have any, sheet music? What do you need me to learn? Once they give you the required stuff, learn those songs that they played in the past, because they're gonna take out something. Hey man, do you know this? Do you know this tune? The second you say, yeah man, let's do it, you're in instantly. because, you know, the one thing that flatters any artist more than anything, you know, compliments, flowers, candy, all of that stuff is nice. But you need to know what the gig is, and you need to know their repertoire. The minute that a person sees that you've checked out their music, all the kudos in the world. Trust me. I mean, I got on the Branford gig, and I was sitting there looking at him like, oh, God, this is not going to work. I don't know what I'm doing. This is, I mean, I was terrified. And he said, kid, do you know this? Yeah. Do you know this? Yeah. Gig went cool until we played this one tune that I didn't know, and he stopped it and said, better luck next time, kid. But, it was actually, it wasn't funny at the time, but I can look back on it and laugh, because now it's my featured song in the set, but yeah, crash and burn. But anywho, so yeah, definitely check out the whole discography of any artist that you're playing against. Third, go in with an open mind. Oh man, closed-minded drummers never work. I promise you. They sit at home and talk trash. and I'm speaking from experience. I mean, well, not being the closed-minded drummer, but yeah, you know, I mean, that's gonna happen. So as musicians, you have to prepare yourself for that. You know, yes, I should be talking about, you know, the molar technique and everything, but a lot of clinics that I've been to, the guys only discuss drum-related things. And I personally feel like these are topics that need to be discussed, because, you know, you get a lot of, like at the school Berkeley, there's a lot of guys who are incredible players. Then, I mean, they can play any technique you ask them to. I mean, they can swing hard, groove hard, crazy chops. And then as soon as they get on the gig, it's like, yo, bro, what's wrong, man? What were we supposed to wear? Tuxedos. Oops. It's like, man, what? And you know, then like a famous artist comes in, and they don't know how to talk to them. Mr. McCartney, how are you doing? It's like, you know, there's certain aspects of music and drumming that's beyond the drums. And that's what I like to focus on, more so than, you know, oh, well, so if you hit the drum set at this acute angle, and I mean, that's wonderful, because there are guys who specialize in that. But I feel as though my specialty is talking about the road, talking about gig-related ideas, and also talking about the logic in music. And that's what I'm going to do. Sorry for the little sidebar. So, yes, the last part. When you're checking out the music, learn the melody. Any song that you're playing on any gig, you should be able to sing it. If you can't sing the melody to the song, you won't be able to play it. You can count how many bars, that's wonderful. You should know every part of every song. For example, I used to be a part of this youth orchestra in Philadelphia, and I would never practice the stuff. It's like, oh yeah, man, that's cool. Classical music, I can read really well. I'll handle that later. I get there, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. I'm counting like 565 bars, and you know, once you get to like once you get to like 120, it's like, okay, I really don't know where I am. And it's like, wait, are we actually at bar 120? You know, it's not necessary. Like a lot of the songs that I play with Branford, and also a new guy that I'm playing with is this guitarist named Kurt Rosenwinkel. His music is not easy at all. You know, you have all of these songs that are not so much technically challenging, they're musically challenging, because, you know, there's certain vibes that he wants to create. And in order to create the vibe, you can't be worrying about, oh, so I'm in bar 15 and beat 3.5. It's like, no, that's not what you need to be focusing on. You need to focus on the melodic content of the songs. So, for example, if you're playing a tune and the groove and the hits are as follows. So now, if you don't know where all of those hits land, 9 times out of 10, there's a melodic line going on that will show you in some way, shape, or form. I promise you. And so that will also dictate to you what to play on the drums. If the song goes bo bo bang, ska do 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 dang. thing you're not going to do is this. Instantly. Just because there's a long line going on. Why play in between there where there's already something going on? You know, I used to look at filling in gaps in a sense. I used to look at, okay, filling in space. So, I have a rectangular shape here. A rectangular shape here. And I have to put in the filling for this rectangular shape. So, if I put in a block that's already pre-made, that's a triangle. Yeah, it could fit, but then there's a piece missing. So what if I put in an octagon? That'll be cool. Yeah, that doesn't fit. And the thing is that you have to find what fits in each gap the best. Maybe silence fits better. Maybe you don't need to fill it. Maybe you can fill it halfway and allow the next person to take care of that. Because as a drummer, you share a lot of responsibilities with the bass player. You know this already. And if you don't, I'm telling you. Bass player should be your best friend. Whatever you do, don't piss your bass player off. He should be, if you have a gig and you need to ride with someone, that's the guy or girl. Seriously. And so, yes, when you're playing these songs, any song that you're playing, learn the melody. Yeah. I guarantee you it will completely hook you up. Just because, again, any good song that's out there, the melody is going to be incredible, and everything is going to be based on that. So, to move on for a second, who here actually plays jazz? Kill it. Okay, so now, what do you think are the important factors in being a jazz drummer? So let's just say you're playing 4/4, regular swing. What do you think is important about the groove that you're playing? What makes this groove have motion?
Locking in with the bass player.
What's that?
Locking in with the bass player.
That's part one. Totally. Locking in with the bass player. Your ride cymbal pattern is your friend. Trust me. It is your best friend. Because if your ride cymbal pattern is jacked up, none of this will even matter. All of this is just accompaniment. This is your solo instrument. Well, when you're swinging. For example, I know a lot of guys who have incredible chops. I mean, their left hand is insane, comping behind the soloist. It's love every time they play. But this is what their cymbal pattern sounds like. They're playing eighth notes, and even though it's really not possible to notate eighth notes, notate the swing ride pattern, just because it's really based on triplet, but it's more so a feeling. Everything is triplet based. Everything. When you're swinging, it's all triplets. Whatever you do, remember that, please, because if I hear you and you're playing this, I'm probably gonna throw a drumstick at you. I promise you. That's right. And so, yes, your ride cymbal pattern is your friend. So now, what area of your ride cymbal should you be playing in?
Center band. Center band, just outside the dome, but not on the very edge.
Exactly. Closer to the bell area is where you get a little bit more ping out of the cymbal. If you're at the bow area, it's going to be all wash, and you're not going to have any stick definition. And one thing that a bass player hates more than anything, a chipped drumstick, because you can't hear anything. It sounds like this. You're fired instantly. So, when swinging, this is key, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually recently just came across this, because my ride cymbal pattern it's been decent, but there's a certain attack that's necessary for the cymbal. If you can't hear this, when you're playing, if you can't hear it, neither does he or she. Seriously, I mean, your ride cymbal pattern is the main aspect of the groove. You can feather all you want. You can feather till the cows come home. It doesn't work. Trust me, I know guys that play. That's really cool, but where's the groove? All you hear is drums. You know, that this should be dictating where time is going, where time has been, and what's going on right there. So, ride cymbal patterns. The main one that you should play. Everyone knows it. This is based on the triplet, not an eighth note. And that's a problem that I know a lot of drummers have. You hear Tony Williams' ride cymbal pattern, which was a little bit straighter, but it still swung because he had the rest of his drums to complement what he was doing. And he had Ron Carter to complement what he was doing. A lot of guys get sucked into I mean, that's what he did, yeah. But at the end of the day, he had everyone around him to complement what he was doing. And as I was saying earlier, you have to not only listen to Tony, you have to check out everybody's ride cymbal pattern. You know, I mean, people say to me, "Oh man, you know Elvin's ride pattern." So do you. It's not something that you. Oh man, you know Roy Haynes' ride cymbal pattern. Oh, we're all playing the same thing, bro. Like just like a pianist or a saxophone player, 12 notes. It hasn't changed. You know, it's just the way that you approach it. Everyone has a different touch. Every person in this room has a different touch. No one can duplicate anyone's touch in this room, and that's the beauty of it. But you learning all of the styles and all of the eras and all of the prominent figures in each of those eras will completely change your life. Just because if you're playing and you have a solo, yeah, it's cool when you can play Roy Haynes' drum solo or when you can play Philly Joe Jones' drum solo. But then when are you going to play something that comes from within? Because that's something that you've rehearsed at home. That's something that you already had preconceived.